This is the trend review for Monday, the 27th of November 2023. And today we had a very different criteria for my trades. Um, I wasn't using my hotkey uh, device, and I was going to use the montage to make my entries. And the reason for that is to keep me focused and looking at the level 2, this area of the screen, and just be more focused on what's happening in the market. And it kind of worked. I wasn't worried about placing a stop loss necessarily. I was just pulling the trigger on the entry signals. And that's what I did today. And unfortunately, because I had to stop out after taking a partial, that's the rule I respected. Uh, None of my trades ended up being positive to the extent that I would have liked. But I had a nice idea for sure. And the move to take on Nvidia was early on with the largest amount of volume at the previous day close after rejected S1. But I missed out on it, and luckily I was able to detect a lot of resistance at value and R3, so I was able to execute some nice trades. So my first trade, uh, okay, well, first of all, Nvidia had normal Camarilla pivots that included pre-market data because we were dropping below the range from yesterday. So in the pre-market, we managed to get back in, so it was not a gapping day. But we were trading inside of the range, so after we attempted to get out of the range, rejected this daily level, the previous day close, and the S1 level, we had a lot of buying within the first minute and within the 2-minute candle at 9:38, 9:36. And in this doji, that's where I should have pulled the trigger for a long partial, and then add to my position on the pre-market low. Or is that the pre-market high? That's the pre-market. Yeah, the pre-market high, which was respected throughout the day. And yeah, so I should have done that. But it happened too fast and I missed out on it. And that's when we had a nice move to the top side, but failed to have buyers. When we opened, we had a bullish level 2. So despite being around R2, I didn't take a short. And we opened with a bit of an open auction. And we finally managed to break out. So that was nice. So this was kind of a what can I call it? It's a bit of a normal variation day. We open with a fairly wide range, and then we trade back within these candles, and then we push higher. So it's normal variation. Ended up being bullish. So we had a bit of a pullback, but on the daily especially. So that's what happened today on Nvidia. That's the price action that we have here. We attempted to cross the open price previous day close, but we found buyers or simply lack of sellers, and covering is what drove the price up. But there is no volume on this push until we cross the R3 level. And one thing to note is that on the 2 minutes, especially for about an hour, we were respected 20 moving average. So that's why I partial aggressively here, and I got out at break even on this trade as well after we failed to break the 20 moving average. I got a break even, and as you can see here, once we finally broke down from the 20 moving average, which it was respecting, That's when we finally broke down. And on these hammers, on this buying pressure, these buying weeks, that's when we turned again and went about to R4 until the end of the day, pretty much. This was a nice rejection. I don't know how far it went. Well, it actually went back to big webs, so this was another opportunity for an R4 reversal, but I don't know if it will have worked. But anyways, onto my trades. So with that, everything that I said already, I was attempting to take trades based on my setup with different criteria, now being focused only on entries and not stop loss or share size necessarily. So after we crossed to the R3 level and failed to continue higher at value, I made my entry at this reaction. I thought that it might be a bit late, but the amount of volume that we had in this candle and then the failure to continue showed me that it was a bit of a trap. So I made my entry and partial at 3-1 for a nice 1R, securing my risk. And unfortunately, we formed another doji and I got out at around break even. And I noticed though that we failed to push once again, but now at this moment we don't really have an entry signal, so I missed out on this second push down below. But it is what it is. Maybe I could have pulled the trigger again for a re-entry on this price action here, but it was too risky, and I decided to wait. And this is where we finally form another signal, and I pulled the trigger. We dropped nicely on the second push. We actually crossed my 2R. We crossed 2R, but I was still waiting for a big drop like this, so I held my shares and I waited for a 3R move, but never materialized. Again, we had wicks signaling buying pressure here. Oh, no text. So we have buying pressure here. We had buying pressure here. So it's not very clear here what that buying pressure is coming from, but looking at the rejections, it's happening at the 20 moving average. So I decided to get out or break even on this second trade. And then finally we saw another signal and I had to be confident. So I made my entry with a stop loss in this zone, a mental stop loss, because I'm not focused on that at the moment. And it was a really nice entry. Held, and I was gonna hold for 3R, but then I changed my mind because this is where I realized that the 20 moving average was still very far from the price action where I made my entry, so it could still, there was still no evidence that the 20 moving average was going to be rejected. So it was the right call because I took one partial out, which ended my day at goal, but then it swiftly rejected the 20 moving average again. And then we just rinse and repeat the same move until it finally caught up to the current price action, the 20 moving average. And once we broke down from it, we made a nice drop to the gray area where we found buyers again. And then the price continued up until it reversed just below R4, and we close at around R3, and it's bullish for tomorrow, but I'm not too confident. We rejected R6 on the daily, so I think it can continue down unless it's just taking a break at R5. But those are my 3 trades I took. These are all R3 reversals. I missed out on the S3 reversal long here, but it was a bit more risky due to the fact that it was in the gray area and this reaction happened too fast and the price action wasn't the best, but this doji was a good signal. So the first trade was a reversal. It executed flawlessly. It was balanced, resulted in a win and resulted in 1.2. A we executed balance win 0. Actually, it was break even. We attempted one more time balance win and resulted in 1R. So those are the 3 trades that I took. Very nice change of pace compared to this data set where I had a bunch of invalid trades compared to this one. But those are my trades. Win, break even, win, and 1.201. So that's total 2.2. Yes, that's correct. And nothing else to add here. Finally, some positive results. Daily. And finally, I was pretty focused. I and pre-market prep remain focused, and I was confident and sure of my entries. And of course, we hit goal. We executed 100%, 3 trades, 3.0 and 2.2. So all of this is golden. This is from Monday from last week, but since November is ending on Thursday, I'm gonna add it to have a 5-day week. So this is Monday and this is Monday of this week. I'm just gonna bump it to the last week. And yeah, so that's it for the trading review for Monday. I might trade Nvidia again tomorrow and see if we continue running to the top side. Should have tighter pivots. But that's it for me.